Today's poem is You Are Lost. You Are Lost is the poem that is written by Isaac Mruma. Isaac Mruma is one of the poets who writes good poem, and one of his best poem is the one we're going to discuss today, and this is You Are Lost. I hope you will all enjoy it.
Yes.
Well, in fact, poetry is the literary genre that is written in stanzas and verses.
Well, as I said earlier, today we are going to analyze the poem You Are Lost.
So, I would like you all to stand up and let us sing together the poem before analyzing it. So you all stand up. And we're gonna sing it in 1, 2, 3, start.
To you, Dada. 1, 2, 3, start.
To you, Dada, is the day that matters, for we are able to chat the language we have. The language we have. When I look at you, I see my face in your eyes, I feel empty inside.
Guys, take your positions. So I hope you all have seen how the poem is sympathetic. That's why we sang it like that. Well, before continuing in analyzing the poem, I would like to show you some clear elaborations about the poem. So it's like this. In the beginning, the persona had his woman. His woman is so beautiful, as we could all see. The man cries to hand her over her back. Well, in the beginning, they were together, as you see. Then it starts from they left apart. The woman started to walk apart, commercial love, you see, making love for man, you see. So the persona, that's why in the first stanza you say, to you, Dada, in the days that matter, for we unable to chat in the language we had. So, in the second phrase, we see that they don't talk again and chat at the language they had. When the persona says, when I look at you and see my paisley in your eyes, I feel empty and sad. You see, when she looks in the woman's eyes, he sees his paisley. That's the elaboration on the third phrase. The fourth phrase, we can see the elaborations in the fifth stanza exactly, where the persona says, with the tenderness that asks where my wallet is. As we can all see that the persona is holding his wallet, then the woman asks the money from the wallet. Also, in the fifth stanza, we'll see that the persona starts to fall apart from the woman. That's how it is. The sixth and the last phrase show how the man is confused. And that's all elaborations on the poem You're Lost. That's all. Now, we're going to start analyzing the poem. From the first start, King, tell us, what's the poem about?
The poem is about a man who is complaining about his woman, who seems to be involving herself in commercial sex. So the man is not happy with the act of the woman.
Exactly, thank you. Sit down. Clap hands for him. Well, King has explained well what the poem is about. He said the poem is about a man. This man is in love and he is complaining on his woman who seems to be involved in commercial sex. You see, this woman is not, she doesn't have true love to the persona, and that's why the persona is sympathetic, he's confused, he's distressed, and the poem is about this man. Alright, we go to our second question. What type of poem is this? Yes, Ezekiel.
Since the variation of number of syllables and variation of number of verses and form of verses, this is an open type poem, which is also known as the modern poem.
Exactly, clap hands for him. Well, Ezekiel has also explained well on the meaning, the type of the poem. And he said, the poem You Are Lost is a modern type poem. Or it's also called an open poem. In other words, you can call it a free verse poem. And this is because of the variation of the number of syllables, the length of verses in each stanza. They vary. So, it takes this poem to a modern type poem. Alright, we go on. Who can comment on the title of the poem? Yes, David, explain or comment on the title of the poem.
The title of the poem, as you can see, is called You Are Lost, whereby lost means to disappear or out of direction. Therefore, you are lost means someone has lost or something has disappeared, which is valuable to someone.
Yes, that's a good elaboration from him. So clap hands for him. Well, you see, a title is the heading of the poem, as you all know. Well, the title reflects on what is inside the poem. Or in other words, we can say that the title reflects on the content of the poem. So, the title You Are Lost reflects that inside the poem there is somebody or something that is lost, and that's what actually it is. Inside the poem You're Lost, we see the persona, and the persona is a man who is lost in the wilderness of love. Sometimes in life, they say, not everything that glitters is gold. And even though love is blind, but we should focus on whom to love. On the first step, the persona was in a relationship to a woman. He was crazy in love. He didn't look or figure out whether this woman is supposed to be in a relationship with him or not. And that, later, he came to notice that this woman loved him because of man. He was not faithful to him. He had a sort of thing, we call it commercial love. So, the title of the poem, You Are Lost, reflects the content inside, that the man or the persona is lost in the wilderness of love. He is confused with his woman who made love to him because of money, because of the commercial purpose. Moving forward to analyzing our beautiful poem, You Are Lost. Who can discuss the form of the poem?
Yes, the poem has got 6 stanzas, whereby in the first stanza we have got 4 verses, the second stanza there are 5 verses, the third stanza there are 4 verses, the fourth stanza there are also 4 verses, the fifth stanza has got 5 verses, and the last stanza, which is the 6th stanza, has got 6 verses.
Excellent. Clap hands for him. You see, when we are told to discuss the form of the poem, here we discuss the layout of the poem. In the layout, we check out the number of stanzas in the poem and the number of verses in each stanza and the number of verses in the whole poem. As our friend explained, that in the poem there are 6 stanzas, whereby in the first stanza there are 4 verses. On the second stanza there are 5 verses. On the third and the fourth stanza there are 4 verses each. On the fifth stanza there are 5 verses, and on the last or the 6th stanza there are 6 verses. In general, we can conclude by saying the poem You're Lost has 28 verses. Moving forward to analyzing our beautiful poem, You Are Lost. Does Dada in this poem have true love to the persona? Yes, Omari?
No, Dada has got no true love to the persona. As seen in stanza 5, verse 1 and 2, when the persona says, "It is you I accuse because your love is lost." This shows that Dada didn't have true love to the persona, but she was just after money.
Exactly, that's very correct from him. Dada in this poem has no true love to the persona. That's why the persona is complaining. The woman's love is money oriented. This can be witnessed when the persona says, "For I only see your love focused on my past." That the woman loves him because of money. He does not have true love to the persona. Moving forward, central idea in this poem. Yes, Robinson?
Well, the main and the central idea of the poem You Are Lost is true love. As you can see from the poem You Are Lost, the woman does not have a true love to the guy. Instead, she keeps on figuring on the money of the guy instead of having a true love, and end up betraying the man because of the money instead of the true love.
Yes, that's very correct from him. Clap hands for him. The persona says that the woman he had, or the woman in a relationship with him, does not have that true love to him. And that's what we have seen from all stanzas in this poem. So, the central idea of the poem You Are Lost is untrue love. Well, we are going to discuss other possible things which can be witnessed in the poem You're Lost, apart from untrue love. Yes. Who can tell us any other possible thing apart from untrue love? Yes, Noah?
From the poem You Are Lost, we can see that there is a theme of exploitation, just as seen in the second stanza, whereby the persona says, "When I look at you and see my face, in your eyes I feel empty and sad." And this can also be seen in the fourth stanza, whereby the persona says, "Never a passion school, to you I'm now a tool, and all my wages now they fare, I ride on your throbbing kisses."
Thank you, Noah. Sit down and clap hands for him. Well, another thing which can be witnessed in this poem is exploitation, as explained by Noah. Well, exploitation can be seen in the fourth stanza as he said that, as the persona says, obviously, never a passion's call. To you, I'm now a tool. So this shows that the persona is exploited by the woman. Any other theme? Yes, Jackson?
Another theme in the poem You're Lost is awareness, whereby we see the persona, as you read through the poem, you see the persona complaining to the woman that she is only focusing on the man that he has. As seen in the poem, whereby the persona says, it is you I accuse because your love is lost. This shows that the personas already know that the woman is not loving him as it's supposed to be.
Well, thank you, Jackson. Take your position. Clap hands for him. Awareness is another theme which can be noticed from the poem You Are Lost. From the first stanza, the poem shows us that the persona is aware that the woman who is in a relationship with does not have true love to him. And that's where awareness falls in this category. Any other theme apart from these two other themes? Any? Yes, Noel?
Also from the poem You Are Lost, we can see there is a theme of prostitution of women in the society. Just as it's seen from the poem that, the persona complains that the dada, or the lady, referring to the lady, is only interested in the money, meaning that she has commercial love. She's in need of money, hence she provides her love for money.
Exactly. That's excellent. That's a beautiful point. So now, we'll have to comment on the language used. So, who can comment on the language used in the poem You Are Lost? Yes, Elias, comment on the language used.
Yes, in the poem You Are Lost, the poet has tried to use a simple language in which everyone can understand.
Perfect. Clap hands for him. Well, in the poem You Are Lost, the poet has used a simple language which is straightforward and helps the reader to understand well the poem. In this poem, the poet Isaac Mruma has used various of figures of speech. Example of a figure of speech which is used by the poet Isaac Mruma in the poem You Are Lost is personification. As we know, personification is the figure of speech which involves giving human qualities to non-human beings. This can be witnessed when the persona says, with the tenderness that asks where my wallet is. Take a note of that. A tenderness cannot ask. Also, personification is realized when the persona says, your passions chasing my bank account. The passions cannot chase a bank account. Any other figure of speech noticed by any one of you from the poem? Yes, Colbert. Comment on the another figure of speech which can be noticed from the poem You Are Lost.
From the poem You Are Lost, we can obtain another figure of speech like barbarism, whereby barbarism is the borrowing of language from English language from other languages. As you can see, in the first stanza, the persona says to you dada. That means he borrowed the word to you dada from the Swahili language.
Yes, that's good, but take your position. Just to correct it, barbarism is the figure of speech which involves borrowing of words from other language. For example, as our friend Colbert explained, that dada is a Swahili word which is borrowed into our poem You Are Lost. You see? So another figure of speech which can be noticed in this poem is barbarism. Take a note of that. Taking a step forward, who can comment on the relevance of the poem?
Yes. From the poem We Are Lost, we see that this poem is very relevant in our society, where we see many women in our society having a true love. These women are hypocrites, acting to truly love their men, while in real sense they are just exploiting these men. From the poem, the poet portrays the persona accusing the girl for having untrue love. In the 5th stanza, he says, "It is you I accuse because your love is lost, and you only touch me with the tenderness of us where my wallet is."
That's clear elaborations from Khaled. Clap hands for him. Well, you see, in this poem, You Are Lost, the poet Isaac Mruma has portrayed right on what he saw in our society. That in our modern day society, as we live outside on our families, on our streets, there are many people who are in love, but they don't have true love towards one another. You might find that a certain woman is in love with a certain man just because of other purposes. And one is commercial love, money-oriented kind of love, as the persona as portrayed in the poem. Also, this poem portrays or reflects on people who are not trustful in the society. They look like angels in their faces, but truly deep inside of someone is like a chameleon who can change its colors wherever it goes in a certain position. That's the relevance of the poem to our modern day society. Alright, class. You can discuss with your colleague, neighbor one, so as you can tell me the tone of the poem. So I allow you now, discuss with your friend and share ideas. You see, from the poem we have read it, we have recited it, even we have sung it. So discuss with your friend and tell me the tone in the poem. I think you have discussed with your neighbor, with your colleague, and you have shared ideas on the tone of the poem. So Calvin, tell us on the tone of the poem.
The tone of the poem, the attitude of the poet to the subject of the poem. So from the poem We Are Lost, you see that the tone of the persona is unhappy for he once loved a girl who has no longer loved with him.
That's perfect from him. Clap hands for him. Well, you see, as your friend Calvin elaborated, that the tone in the poem is the attitude of the poet subjected to the particular poem. As the persona in the poem is not happy with the behavior of his woman, and this causes the tone in the poem to be of the distressed one and unhappy. So, who can tell us the mood of the poem?
Since the poet is the one who wrote this poem, and the poet is Isaac Mruma, the mood of the poet is the one of stress. since the poet expressed the persona as a man who complains on a woman whom he has broken up with.
That's very good, Jackson. Ezekiel, add something on the mood of the persona in the poem.
Thank you. The mood of the speaker is sadness and disappointment. Since we see the speaker has lost the girl whom he loved a lot, and the girl is no longer loving, but the girl loves the money in which the man has been.
That's very good from Ndimbo. Clap hands for them. Well, in other words, you can say that the mood is the atmosphere in the poem. It's the one of the speaker. So, from the poem, you are lost. The speaker's mood is that of a disappointed one, who is sad due to his woman who has betrayed him, who makes love for money, who makes commercial love. And that makes the mood of the speaker to be that of sad and disappointed. Well, we have reached an end of our beautiful analysis of the poem You Lost. So, as I said earlier, that the mood in this poem, you can say the mood is the atmosphere in the poem. It's the mood of the speaker. As said by our fellow friends, that the mood in the poem is that one of a disappointed one, is that one of sadness, as the persona is sad. The speaker is sad that his woman has betrayed him, is money-oriented one. So, by these few remarks, I conclude by saying we have reached to an end of our session today. Well, my students, I would like to give you an advice so as you can pass well these poems you are learning. For example, this poem You Are Lost, you cannot pass it well in the exams if you are not revising it. So please revise well all the poems, take a note, take seriousness into consideration so as you can pass well your exams. By these few remarks, I would like to say that our lesson has reached to an end, and I wish you a good afternoon. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.